Dude, all my Warlock friends are re-rolling. It's kind of sad because I feel like Warlocks aren't really that represented right now in the AWC at all, and they're getting gutted. I don't think we're ever going to see a Warlock in the AWC anymore. And then Fire Mages aren't getting nerfed at all. Outlaw Rogues basically aren't getting nerfed at all. Holy Priests literally aren't getting nerfed at all. It's kind of crazy. Warlock is going to be unplayable auto loss in any cleave. I actually agree with you. I actually think the meta is going to turn into like a Shaman cleave meta. You know what? This is actually a good opportunity, guys. Let's talk about exactly what happened in the AWC yesterday. So there are some changes coming in 9.2.5. I want to do like a kind of an overview of what happened in the AWC and what I think is going to happen in 9.2.5. So let me pull up the patch notes here. Really quick. So first, let's go over the patch notes for 9.2.5 really fast, okay? Let's do like a quick synopsis. So the Beast Mastery Hunters are getting a damage buff. Frost Mage, Necrolord Conduit is getting nerfed a little bit, so Deathborn won't last as long. Arcane Mage is getting a decent damage buff. It's nothing crazy. I don't think Arcane Mage is going to be played in the AWC or anything like that, but if you're an Arcane main, it's going to be more fun. So that's basically my thoughts on it. I really don't think this is going to like be meta defining. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's going to be a lot more fun to be an Arcane player. Mistweaver is getting a really small buff. This Zen Focus Tea, it's 30 seconds instead of 45. Nothing's happening to Windwalker Monks. Discipline Priests are getting a bit of a buff. Penance damage is going to go up. Power Word Shield is going to go up, as well as the Power Word Shield of Shadow Priest. So small buffs there. The Outlaw Rogue nerfs are basically nothing, in my opinion. This weekend in the AWC, we saw 90% of games have Outlaw Rogues in them. Maybe more. I think maybe like 95% of games had Outlaw Rogues in them. So Outlaw Rogue is extremely potent right now. It's crazy. So yeah, the nerfs are basically nothing. Recuperator Conduit makes it so the little heal they get with Slice and Dice being active is halved, but that didn't really matter, to be honest with you. This is a small change. Enduring Brawler stacks 15 times instead of 20, and it's being offset by the fact that this stamina bonus is going up. So the stamina bonus is going up, and that benefits Outlaw Rogues more than anything, I would say, because of Enduring Brawler. So Enduring Brawler already benefits the most for more stamina. So the fact that this talent is getting nerfed a little bit is being offset by the fact that we're getting more stamina here. So it's not really a nerf. I guess it's kind of nice that other classes get more stamina. But the way I think about this change, guys, is this still benefits Outlaw Rogues the most. Because Outlaw Rogues, the only way you kill an Outlaw Rogue is by killing them 100-0. If they can play their character, they can't die. That's the way I see it. So if they can play their character, they can't die, which is, you know, it's rough. They're very strong. And we'll talk exactly why they're strong in a second, but Shaman getting Healing Stream buff, Vesper Totem's getting nerfed, Urshock's getting a really small counter nerf, so it was nerfed by 10%, that's going away. Chain Harvest getting a really small nerf. 15% I guess isn't that small, but I don't think it'll be super noticeable. Earthen Wall Totem, Absorb is no longer reduced in PvP, so this is big. So Resto Shaman's Earthen Wall is going to be a lot better, and Healing Stream is going to be better. So those two things are great. Destruction Warlocks are getting gutted. Well, so Destruction Warlocks, basically, when they have a melee on them, are going to die a lot faster. I think in like caster mirrors, they'll still be really good, to be honest with you. So I think Destro Warlocks are still going to be like the king of caster matchups. But if you're a Destro Warlock and you fight like a Resto Shaman TSG, you are dead. One of the changes that's not listed here is to Demon Armor. So they're removing the armor component of Demon Armor. And I think for Affliction, it literally triples their armor, and for Destro, it almost triples it. So it's pretty big. They're losing like 160% armor, which is like a little bit more than 10% physical damage reduction. Demonology is getting a more potent MS, which I think is really interesting. That might give them some more comp options. So like maybe like Shadow Priest Demo is going to be better. I really don't know, but the MS is definitely interesting. Arms Warriors, nothing's happening. Fury Warrior, Depth of Insanity Conduit is getting reduced. Battle Trance now generates 3 rage instead of 5, so slight nerfs to Fury Warrior. And then they're buffing overall stamina with the 2-piece set bonus. And then they're gutting Echoing Resolve. Echoing Resolve is a dead trinket now. So I didn't like using Echoing Resolve anyways, but this trinket will never be played. Echoing Resolve will never be played again. Now, with all these things in mind, okay, we could take a look at the representation in the AWC. So let me look at this for you guys. Okay, so here we go. If you guys missed the AWC, this is what it looked like this weekend. Okay, so this is the NA classes played, and it was very similar in Europe. Okay, very similar in Europe. So we see rogues played 56 times. Majority of that is outlaw. Well, one thing to keep in mind is when it comes to RMP, it's not just outlaw that's good. Subtlety and assassination are both S tier as well. So we're in a really weird situation where rogues, all 3 specs are S tier. And then of course we have Holy Priest, which is by far the most represented healer, not even close. And Fire Mage, which is by far the most represented caster, not even close. Now there was some Mage locks, but I don't think Mage Lock won a single series. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, the whole story of the AWC was Outlaw Rogue, Holy Priest, Fire Mage. This is the most potent composition. Now, there was some signs of life, some other comps. So I know in Europe, Turbo did okay. So Holy Priest, Enhancement Shaman, Fury Warrior also did pretty well. We saw Blizzo, Swapsy play that with Lontar. And then, of course, we saw Warlock played in Mage Lock. We saw Paladin played by Kawhi a little bit. We saw Shaman played by Absturge a little bit. So Shaman, Absturge, Paladin, Brain, every other healer in the game playing Holy Priest. Warlock played a little bit of Mage Lock, but I think lost every game. Thugonomics played Rogue Lock, but they ended up losing. Druid was played by Tuna. Actually, NA was a little bit more interesting in terms of healer diversity, but at the end of it all, like, the Holy Priest reigned supreme by far. Death Knight got played 1 series. There's 0 warriors, 0 monks, 0 demon hunters. Okay, so representation very one-sided, and I think this is the first time in a long time we've seen so many people re-roll. So I think as a foundation, a lot of the teams had fire mages already. Fire mages have been good for so long that basically your team is trolling if you don't have one. So every single team in the game had a fire mage. And also, Holy Priest has been good for so long. Like, basically throughout the cups, Holy Priest is by far the best healer. Like, it wasn't even close. So all the healers had to reroll Holy Priest. So all the healers rerolled Holy Priest, and every team has a Fire Mage, basically. That means that in order to make the best comp in the game, you just have to have one person reroll Outlaw. So that's what everybody did. They picked one person, whether it was Trill, whether it was Zeepai, to log on Outlaw and play that to give them access to the best comp in the game. So everybody was playing RMP. There's a few exceptions. I think the only time we saw RMP lose was to double Outlaw Rogue and to Turbo. But I'm not convinced that Turbo should win. I just think Swapsy and Blizzo are absolutely insane. Even the games that they won were really, really, really close. So why guys? Why are Holy Priests, Outlaw Rogues, and Fire Mages so strong? And are these changes going to change anything? I have some thoughts about this. I feel like the only saving grace here, this is what I think, okay? So number one, if we get a little notepad out, this is what I think is going to happen in the meta, okay? So I think Warlocks, in terms of the AWC, are dead. I don't mean to be dramatic, but I don't think they'll ever be played again, quite honestly. I think Outlaw, still mega OP. Fire Mage, still OP. But, and I'm not just saying that, I hate Fire Mage. Like, I don't hate Fire Mages, but I hate Fire Mage. So people that think I'm biased towards Fire Mage, you're wrong. But what I think might happen with the Echoing Resolve nerf, Fire Mages aren't going to be able to rely on that anymore, which I think is actually going to make it so Shaman cleaves can maybe kill Fire Mages. Like, I think it's possible we see Echoing Resolve nerf to Fire Mage. We'll see Fire Mage actually get ran down. So I think comps like R Shaman TSG, R Shaman Rat Warrior, things like Turbo are going to be a lot more effective. For example, like maybe there's a world where Windwalker Death Knight, I kind of doubt the Windwalker Death Knight, DHDK are going to be a lot more potent into these mage cleaves. It's going to be way more difficult for the mage to do anything. Not having Echoing Resolve is going to be super rough for them, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think in addition to Rogue Mage being super duper good, I think Mage Lock is going to completely fall off. I don't think we're going to see Frost Mages anymore. So as a result of Warlocks being dead, I also think Frost Mage is dead. to be honest. So I think Frost Mage is dead because Warlocks are dead. Outlaw is still OP. Fire Mage is still OP, but maybe Resto Shaman cleaves or just Enhancement Shaman cleaves will stand a big chance. And that's really it. I think that's basically the only thing I really see changing. I personally, I'm quitting Frost Mage and just playing Arcane full time. So we'll see how that works. I'm going Human Mage, and I'm gonna play my Void Elf Mage as well, and just live the Arcane dream. Play Venthyr, play Night Fae, and try to make it happen. But I don't really see Mistweavers being played a whole bunch more. Maybe Discipline Priest will be played more in like jungle and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically what I think is gonna happen. And I wanted to quickly mention why I think Outlaw Fire and Holy Priest are so insane, and it comes down to cooldown reduction. So cooldown reduction is something that people don't talk about enough and people don't understand, but Fire Mage shifting power has been broken the whole expansion. So Fire Mage with shifting power, they reset the cooldown of their counter spell, they reset the cooldown of their Dragon's Breath, they reset the cooldown of their Blink, they reset the cooldown of their Blazing Barrier, they reset the cooldown of Ice Block, of Combustion, of all their spells. And it makes it so your spells are desynced with others. Like everybody in the game plays around like a 2-minute trinket, a 2-minute wall, a 3-minute wall. So you have these 2-minute, 3-minute cooldowns for the most part. That's how every class works. But with Outlaw, you're resetting your blind to be like a minute cooldown. Your evasion is always up. Your vanish is always up. Your cloak of shadows is always up. Your feint's always up. So you just have more tools to work with more often. That's one of the reasons why Outlaw is so broken. Fire Mage is the exact same thing. Being able to reset your combustion so often makes it so you have your big go more often than they have their wall. And then now Holy Priests are all playing Night Fae, right? Like every single Holy Priest is playing Night Fae for the most part. Reset, like when he's playing with Swapsy, reset his Astral Shift. Swapsy has like a 45-second cooldown Astral Shift, so every single time he's getting attacked, he can just press that button and it's a huge safety net. So I think CDR right now, Assassination Rogues are another one. Night Fae resetting Vendetta, Vendetta being a short cooldown, less than 2 minutes. Like these are the most powerful things in the game right now. And I kind of wonder what they do about that. Like there's basically 2 things you can do about CDR is you give more classes cooldown reduction to help them desync their cooldowns with defenses, because I do think it's interesting that way. Makes the game less scripted. But I think another way to make the game less scripted is to just make cooldowns worse and buff consistent damage, which is something I've been saying for a really long time. So that's kind of how you handle that. But I think that's the reason why, you know, Fire Mages have been so dominant. The cooldown reduction of shifting power, like nobody doesn't play Night Fae, right? There's no non-Night Fae Fire Mages. Outlaw Rogue cooldown reduction is absurd. And now everyone's playing the Holy Priest. It's really strong too. But that's basically my thoughts about the weekend. We'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy the synopsis. I'm turning this into a YouTube video, just so you guys know. So say hi to YouTube. If you guys like the video, and also leave a comment, follow the channel, and let me know what you guys think about what I said. Do you guys think I'm crazy? Do you think Shaman Cleaves are actually going to be good? Proc Pooper's going back Restoration. I'll tell you that right now. So